you know, I have a lot of respect for my colleague, Kaluma. He's my big brother there in Parliament. But unfortunately, he comes here shouting how he is second term and lecturing us how he is a second term member, and the reason why actually I'm sitting ground for him to speak more. But unfortunately, I've never seen a person who is in his second term in Parliament who has actually even no grasp of figures, the figures he actually adjudicates and makes there in Parliament.
Give us the figures.
What we do in Parliament, Smart, is mostly the economic angle of our country. And it is laughable to hear that Honorable Karuma speaking about the day that Kibaki left. Let me speak. Please.
No, give us the figures. Give us the figures.
I'm not used to this shouting. Give me time to execute my point. Let me now educate you a little, Mheshimiwa Karuma. Because you claim to be in government, and I thought being in government, you have access to direct raw data.
But
from
James,
the Central Bank of Kenya,
James, where did I say that?
Yes. From the budget office in Parliament, and from any other quarter. Now, take a pen and paper. President Kibaki, when he left power in 2013, the public debt of this country, both domestic and foreign, was 1.8 trillion Kenya shillings. That data, you can get it even now.
I'm talking of foreign debt. How much was foreign debt?
Can you
hang on. Let me speak.
But James,
I've told you to pick a pen and paper. If you don't have a paper, let me educate you for free. Right there, I'll show you.
You can.
When President Kibaki left in 2013, the foreign and domestic debt in this country was 1.8 trillion Kenya shillings on 50-50 basis. So even the argument he's making about what he was referencing, the domestic debt was actually half of that. So just around 3.9, they are about trillion. In 2017 December, you can check that from Central Bank, the national debt in this country, the public debt, was 4.5 trillion Kenya shillings in December of 2017. That makes the net borrowing of the first term of President Kibaki and Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto to be net borrowing of 2.7 trillion Kenya shillings. Now let me shock you. We adjusted the limits of borrowing in Parliament up to 9 trillion Kenya shillings. Unfortunately, as we talk here, James, is that our country and our economy has borrowed even more than the limits we have set in Parliament. These are the figures. The direct debt borrowed by this handshake regime is currently cumulative, is just around 8.5 trillion Kenya shillings. Then you add something we call guarantees. Guarantees come from Karuma. PPPs are guaranteed by national debt. There is something else called guarantees. Guarantees, for example, let me give you an example. When Kenya Power takes a debt, the guarantee of that SOE, state-owned enterprise, is the government of Kenya. That again is around 3.4 trillion Kenya shillings. The entire total debt in this country is just shy of 12 trillion Kenya shillings. The handshake regime has borrowed a net of 7.2 trillion Kenya shillings. Let me come closer home. President Kibaki, when he left, given our population, we had a per capita debt of around 48,000 Kenya shillings. Currently, through the handshake quagmire, every Kenyan, including a young child born in Murang'a Hospital today, has a debt per capita of around 255,000 Kenya shillings. And we are in deep hole borrowed by this regime. But even, allow me to execute this.
Yes.
Let me give you a few figures.
James, for how long do we listen to these lies?
Let me tell you something. The first term of President Uhuru Kenyatta's borrowing, we can see, we can touch. Out of the 2.7 trillion net borrowing of the first term, you can go and see the railway. They are real projects you can touch. This second term, this handshake regime, there is nothing substantive you can pinpoint that has been done by that borrowing. And so that Kenyans understand. Just allow me 1 minute. I'll give Karuma all the time he needs. Allow me 1 minute.
Finish.
How much can the debt that the President Uhuru Kenyatta and his handshake brother
is it still useful for me to engage?
Can I just execute my point?
Finish. 30 seconds, please.
I want to speak.
Yes.
I want to speak lighter language for the Kenyan people to understand, because we are throwing trillions here and there. I want to bring the point closer home.
Do I go and watch this lies for more? What do I do?
Hang on. 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I am from you violence. Let me execute my point.
I'm too senior.
Are you the one interviewing us or him?
No. I'm too senior to say being lied to.
Okay, 30 seconds. 30
yeah,
seconds.
but for how long?
30 seconds.
Is this 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Okay, let him speak.
Okay. No, finish your point.
Yeah, I'll speak once he's a speaker.
You see, it's consistent.
You cannot,
James,
hang on,
you cannot control the debate.
I'm not
speaking when you
talk
speak
about the numbers. Okay, hang on.
But you cannot speak. You cannot speak until morning.
Okay, let him execute his point. Finish your point.
And then speak facts so that we engage.
You'll respond. Make your point. Finish your point.
Let me bring the debate closer home. From the trillions to real issues affecting the people of Kenya. The handshake regime has borrowed a net of 7.2 trillion shillings.
Yes.
What can that money do? I want to make this debate understandable to the Kenyan people who are watching us. When President Kibaki left the helm of power, the president currently claims that he has tarmacked around 10,000 kilometers of road. 10,000 kilometers of road, an average cost of tarmacking road in Kenya is around 60 million per kilometer. James Matt, discount all of that. Make it actually 20,000 kilometers of road. That makes around 1.2 trillion Kenya shillings. When President Kibaki left, we had connections to electricity of around 1.8 million households. The current data, let me finish this one point.
James, for how long
the households in Kenya are around 12 million households. So if you are to connect all the households to the national grid,
so your point is,
just 1 minute. Just a minute, please, man.
It has moved from 30 seconds to 1 minute.
I'll give Karuma all the time.
No, we need to transition the conversation.
But now you cannot cut me when I'm just finishing up my point.
What was the point?
This is the point. I want to show the Kenyan people the connection between borrowing and stealing.
What was the point?
Just one minute.
What was the point?
If you have to connect 10 million households to electricity at that 5,000 Kenya shillings per household, that's around 350 billion. If you have to connect electricity to all the Kenyan homes, that is 10,000 of them, that's around 500 billion. If you have to construct a level 5 hospital in every constituency, that's 290 billion.
James, for how long
if you have
are
to
we
construct
going
a
through this?
TVET, not worth 100 million, 1 billion Kenya shillings, that's around 290.
For how long,
all that,
James,
can happen at just a fraction of 3 trillion. This handshake regime has only overseen borrowing to steal. That is called developmental corruption. That has been done by President Uhuru Kenyatta and his handshake partner.
Never call me